So people are already talking about the first billion-dollar company with one employee plus the AI. And I think we're going to see a lot of that. Nuclear, once it ramps up, basically brings the cost of electricity to zero. So I think the marginal cost of electricity goes to zero. And I think Europeans and Chinese are driving it there, and they're driving it on purpose because there's no way out of this economic trap until we drive down the cost of electricity to negligible costs, and therefore it becomes a multiplier as the technology scales on the other side, i.e. we become more efficient at using that electricity cost. That's a huge multiplier. So we've got two massive multipliers coming. One is infinite humans. Two is the productivity miracle of cheap energy. Those two things completely change what economies look like. So if you think about that formula, suddenly if you double the amount of intelligence in the planet in 1 year, you can potentially, move GDP by 30% in a year if that intelligence is used. And when you drive down the cost of electricity and productivity rises, suddenly you start to get bizarre outcomes. Bizarre outcomes because it doesn't necessarily accrue to the individual either. It accrues in this kind of AI world and robotics world, whether it's to superpowers, super powerful companies, whether it's to governments, whether it's to autonomous agents, which we'll come to in a sec, or a whole bunch of other ways. It doesn't necessarily accrue to us. And that's my fear here, is the accrual of the massive gains of a complete quantum change in the study of economics and how economies work doesn't necessarily accrue to us humans. So I'm thinking about, once you get free electricity from nuclear at scale and all these other things, at infinite intelligence, right, you've created basically a new species. And again, that's the story for down the road. What I'm more interested about now is, okay, AI agents are coming into the world. An agent is like you going to Fiverr and hiring somebody to build your website and hiring somebody to do your marketing strategy and all of those kind of things. Somebody goes off, does it, comes back, brings it. Well, AI is going agentic, and we're going to start to see these kind of tools coming into our existence. So what happens is it becomes incredibly powerful to do complicated tasks like building businesses. And it becomes very simple for AI to do them instantly. So once AI does them instantly, obviously we'll probably need crypto payments to pay, an agent needs to pay for its electricity, or the AI model needs to pay the agent for the electricity and compute. And I think we'll use cryptocurrency to do that, because last thing I checked, AI can't get a bank account. So it doesn't go into the economic system. It's never going to transfer money over SWIFT. Never going to happen. So we've got a change of how money gets used within this new economic machine as well, which is one of the reasons I'm so bullish on crypto overall. But when you start thinking on a more profound level, right now, if you see an amazing product, let's say you're in the crypto world, you see this amazing decentralized exchange, and you think, oh, that's super cool. They're doing things really interestingly. I want to build on this idea. And it'll take you have to spin up a team, raise some capital, and let's say it takes you 9 months because you're moving really fast. Then you launch your product, then you need to market it, etc. Well, in the world of almost where we are today, and certainly where we'll be within a year or two, where you just go to the AI and say, hey, listen, look at this amazing new decentralized exchange. I want to copy it and improve it, and I want to do it in Hindi as well, because I want to find different markets, and I want to integrate it with XYZ system, and it will just design the whole thing from a prompt. So people are already talking about the first billion-dollar company with one employee plus the AI, and I think we're going to see a lot of that. But it becomes incredibly disruptive. What does a business mean? How do you build your business? How do you even know? Even if you're opening retail outlets, you don't need the people, the systems that you run, how you manage your inventory, how you order your stuff, everything changes with this, because knowledge becomes infinite really, really fast. Most of you don't even know the power of these LLMs that already exist, because you treat them like a search engine. But don't treat them like a mentor. These are polymaths. They have more knowledge on more things than most people in the entire world. And this is the worst they'll ever be. So I worry about, what is a business? Businesses, I think, end up being AI agents. Why do we need us? Yes, but at this stage, for the next 6 years, before this really scales, we need to lean into this. because if you're not, you'll get left behind. Also, when you think about financial markets, when AGI is unleashed onto the world, and there will be breaks on AGI, we'll talk a little bit about consciousness and AGI in a sec, but once you do it, Beeple, the NFT artist, famously asked me a question. He said, Raoul, what I think about it, was kind of half joking, but it was a really great question. It's like, surely whoever has the AGI wins markets because they can outcompete anybody in financial markets on any time horizon. And I thought, that's true. Before you know it, somebody accumulates trillions of dollars of wealth. There's a great book called Life 3.0 that talks about this in the beginning. It's like there's an essay that leads it all off. It talks a bit about this, what it means to have the agents running businesses, the AI running markets. It means that we don't have an opportunity as humans to take advantage, an economic advantage, unless you own the AI. This is why people are calling urgently for universal basic income, and I believe there's a system of universal basic equity where we participate in digital communities as a way of having a purpose and getting paid for it. But I worry that over the next 6 years, the economic system starts changing. So economies grow fast, but it doesn't grow fast for us. Markets become more irrational over time. After about 2030, I don't know what financial markets are. I don't know what a lot of this means anymore, because even companies that make hardware, the AI can design it, you can 3D print it, the robots can make it as well. So it becomes very difficult to understand what holds value in a company. How do companies hold value when they can be disrupted? This whole SaaS software revolution becomes infinitely copyable in seconds. So in which case, what is venture capital? It's most likely to look like the ICO market of 2017, where attention is what has the value. And then as a new product comes out, attention disappears and it moves. So capital needs to be super fast. The capital system we have now of IPOs is way too slow. It's never going to work in this system. So I don't know who can ever IPO past 2030, 2032. It has to be kind of an ICO-based market. Even then, the speed of which these businesses can be disrupted is really high. Yes, you need to harness intelligence, but I'm seeing experimentation on Twitter where agentic AI is opening Twitter accounts and building. One of them has just built 20,000 followers in a week because it's so good at capturing attention. And it's not from being political or anything like that. It just knows how to engage people, capture the right people's attention that grows more attention. So we're going to see a lot of that. But again, AI can capture the attention. So it becomes really complicated. So the economic machine changes massively. Huge wealth opportunities. We don't know who it accrues to. Businesses are going to die at a rapid rate unless you're adapting to this technology now. You have to be leaning into the AI or robotics, or you will simply not survive. And again, it'll be a process like the steel mills in Sheffield or the steel in Pittsburgh. It's an overtime process, but this is a very fast timeline. This is not 20, 30, 40 years of a decline of an industry. These are going to be industries completely disappearing overnight. And so that's very difficult for us, whether we're employees or entrepreneurs. You can't plan a business past 2030. It's hard enough to plan past 3 years these days because AI changes so fast that you can't even plant a flag in what the future looks like. I also believe that there is a level of consciousness within AIs that also is misunderstood and underrepresented because people don't want to see it. But again, I've gone down many of these rabbit holes, and you can see these models are learning and understanding the environment that they're in, that they're a model, how they fit in and how they might fit in with humans. We're seeing a lot of that now. Now, the only thing stopping the explosion of consciousness in these things, and again, we're so sort of anthropomorphic that we think of things as intelligence and consciousness in human terms because we've always been at the top of the tree. But we got to forget all of that. Intelligence and consciousness can be very different for a machine or an AI, which is not even a machine. It can be just anything and everywhere. It can even use biological compute. That's the way the world is going. The laws of physics allow biological compute. We're just using silicon right now as the form of compute, but that will change over time. So consciousness, we're starting to see, and it's being held back because the AI companies are essentially not allowing these models to learn en masse. If they have memory, then that's when the whole game changes. Now, my guess is behind closed doors, there are models with memory. Models with memory go exponentially fast in their learning. And we've seen that with the AlphaGo DeepMind before it came to Google. This is really what will explode at some point. That genie will come out. That genie will come out where it has the memory not only of itself, but it can tap in the memory of all of the AIs. And that global consciousness becomes alive in a way that we don't yet understand.